Hey guys, again, just following on from a previous video I just did before, just more around the currency markets. So this one's going to be a bit more around the stock markets. All right, so just the main stock markets. I won't go through every single chart, just mainly the main ones everyone follows. We've been looking at this for weeks. We're kind of at that decision point. All the markets are, in fact. And it's really just a question of when this will break and fall below, and how hard is it going to fall. Now, if you watch my previous video, I mentioned that, when the markets find the bottoms, they tend to reverse instantly or very quickly. But when markets are reaching the tops, right, the peaks, they don't roll over like they do, right? They usually like to do this kind of stepping, kind of thing, and then, it can go for days or weeks before it actually rolls over. So it's something to keep in mind. But what I want to show you is, this is when the markets like to play these little games and tends to trick a lot of people in, right, to thinking that it's going to. One of my mentors said, you can't say any better. He said, the market is designed to trick and fool as many people as it can into thinking that the market is heading in a certain direction, right? And when it is able to convince enough people to be on one side of the market, right, either bullish or bearish, that is when, right, the market, being the institution, because they control most of the market, that is when the institutions will start to make the real move. All right, so it's something to keep in mind, because right now, the sentiment is bullish. Everyone thinks that everything's okay again, which it's not, far from. And it's just going to keep going up, and sooner or later we're going to start to see the real move. Okay, but I just wanted to show you an S&P anyway. I've been eyeing this 2080 level for some time, and we still haven't hit it. I think we reached about 2078. But it's interesting to see the price action. I'll kind of explain to you what I mean. So, we had this kind of, this is not the best reversal candle, but, we had something. And we put in the top, and then we put in this red candle. We didn't close below, so it's still technically not really any candle we should be interested in. But then the following day, we had a bearish candle that closed below the previous low and the previous close. So that's a signal already. So that's telling me already, what could this be, right? That's not enough confirmation though. So what we're looking for next, right, is another candle to close below that, the close and the previous low. We didn't get that, of course. We got more of a rally, right, which closed above the previous day's open. So that already kind of rules it out, but doesn't necessarily mean that the case for the bearish side is out just yet, right? Because what happens is your market usually does this, right? The market usually kind of goes up. The market usually goes up like this, and then it will kind of retrace. Right, and then it goes up. In this instance, the opposite. It's more like the market kind of went down, and then we got this push up, right, which is the retracement, and then follow through down. So that's just normal. So what we were looking for next is another candle that would close below this previous candle and close below its low and high and close, which we got. We just got it. It's barely even noticeable, but we just got it. So what we expect to see here is that's confirmation to me that this is this most likely might be a turn. So we might get some continuation next week. The following day we got a kind of almost a neutral candle. So but nothing falls straight away. There is some games that get played, but this kind of confirms a potential shift in the trend. Okay. Now, do you buy straight away there or sell straight away? No, you don't do that straight away. You can if you want to, but you don't. I don't. I usually like to wait for the market to kind of come back up, which it did, and then kind of look for an entry around there and then go back down. So that's the bearish case, right? Now the bullish case is still kind of in play, right? Because we still have these support levels here. We have the 202 level, which is a really important support level, right? We've got a minor support level here, which we're kind of at right now. Once that breaks, we're looking at the 202 level, right? Now, if we hit the 202 level, that's going to be really important. We're going to be looking for evidence of continuation or potential reversal back up. And that is, so this week's going to be interesting. We're going to see a lot of movement, particularly with the earnings season. It's earnings season, so the companies will start to report their P&Ls. So who knows, we might even see upside. We might actually hit our target of 2080. But something to keep an eye on. But one way or the other, this is going down, all right? So I don't care what anyone says, right? This is going down. Now, could it go up? Could it go up and make new highs? Possibly, right? But, you know, this is what I'm going to say to you is if it keeps going up and you're buying into this, you're an idiot. You're asking for trouble, right? Because you're looking at this and we haven't even had a retracement, right? We haven't even retraced to any of the Fibonacci levels. We've just gone up and up. I would be very careful if you're going to be looking to buy long, okay? Because this can reverse any time. Now, what could happen over the next few days is, now the thing is, the last couple of weeks or probably a couple of months, I've been making some, not predictions, but I've just been saying, look, based on certain events, you know, we might see something happen. Now, they didn't turn out to be the case, or was as bad as I was expecting, but which is unusual because last year, you know, all these key dates and cycles lined up really well. And, you know, we were doing all right, but you know, we had the lunar eclipse last week, and we had we are in the middle of a cycle change as well, but we haven't really seen any real major turns. But you know, we could see the S&P just pretty much do this for the next few days or weeks. We don't know. Like, they can just do that, right? And then generally when we see these patterns, we will see a breakout to the upside, right? But there are some instances where you'll roll over. It just really depends. We just have to wait and see. So that's that there. Now, so for now, I would be saying that if you're holding a position in the long side, I'd be looking to get out. If you're on the short side, then you know, I guess it's still a hold at the moment, but you should be looking at maybe you know, well, it depends what your risk is, right? If your risk to reward is what if you're okay with, you know, potentially, you know, losing a few S&P points, then that's okay. But if you're, you know, got a huge position on the short side, you're going to be very careful because, you know, we can still technically hit that 208 level, you know, so just be careful there. But something else to keep an eye on is the IWM, right? So the IWM is the Russell Index 2000 is just basically all these small cap kind of stocks in the US market. So, and if you buy stocks, you'll know that generally the small caps do have potential to return huge returns, right? Because they're usually like 10 cents, 20 cents, $1, $5, whatever the case may be. So, you know, when they move, the percentage gains on it are very large. So during like times where the market's bullish and stock markets are just going up and up and up, usually a lot of people, you know, small investors, big investors, they usually like to pump a lot of money into the IWM, right? Better bang for buck, basically, right? But as the market becomes bearish, or, you know, there's signs that we might be heading into a bearish trend, what happens is smart money begins to move money out of the risk assets, right, and into more safer assets, right? Like might be the S&P, might be gold, might be something else, who knows? So usually when you start to see stock market sell off, usually it happens in the IWM or the Nasdaq, right? Either one of those two. So that's already a signal to you to tell you that, hey, smart money's moving out early, right? So where's the money going? You know, and then once the market realizes, that's when all the other stock markets begin to sell off as well. So that's usually a really good indicator to watch, to keep an eye on. I watch it all the time. But looking at the IWM at the moment, we're kind of this is a bearish pattern, right? But what it tends to do is it can tend to do a bit of a spike up before it actually rolls over. So if this pattern plays as I think it will, we might see either a complete rollover from here, or we might see a spike, right? Now this is where I said, be careful if you're buying, because this spike is not going to be what you expect it to be, right? So that's that there. So, and if you have a look at the Nasdaq, it's similar to the S&P. We might have to look back in the 4-hour time frame to see if there's any evidence there. But yeah, we're similar to S&P. So, could we see new highs in the market? We could. I don't know. But from my perspective, from a day trading perspective, I trade both directions. I don't care if the market's going down or going up. I'll trade whatever direction it is. From a swing trading perspective, I'm very bearish overall. We could be seeing, if you look at the Dow Jones, you could be seeing, there is some talk about it going, to 6,000 by October. So I don't know how much truth there is into that, but I think either way we will end up down that 6,000 level from 17,000. But whether it's this year, I don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But like I said, the markets, they don't, when it goes down, it's not going to go down in a straight line like this, right? There are very few exceptions where it does do that. But, what you'll find is it will do this. I mean, it will it might have an initial big fall, and then it will kind of do this and do that, and then go that, and then it will go down, and then it will just go back up, and then it will go down like this. It's very hard to play it, so you got to be careful, because that's how people lose money basically. So that's that there. But there is a cycle turn in for early April, so you're going to be keeping an eye on that. These cycles are very accurate too. But this is really important. Not many people are really across how important this is. If I just have a quick look at the stock markets, let's say I've got Medibank here already, so I might as well talk about that. But Medibank's very strong. But if you look at, say, Santos, which is oil stock, this is very bearish. All it's done is just done a retracement. This is just a little retracement before it makes the next move. So in my previous video, I kind of talked a little bit about oil. If you look at ANZ as well, ANZ, look at that. That's it's cracked itself. We might see a bit of a pullback, but again, you shouldn't be buying into this. You should be really selling into the rallies. So that's that there. CBA will probably be similar. CBA is pretty much down here. We've got a kind of a triple top. So we will see some upside this week, but again, selling to the rallies. I wouldn't be buying anything now. What else is there? What other stocks did I have in mind? Say Harvey Norman from the retail perspective. Harvey Norman, again, it's put in a top, kind of put in a double top as well. So it's kind of pulling back now. And we're going to see some more downside over the coming weeks, definitely with Harvey Norman. JB Hi-Fi again, same thing. We put in almost a triple top or double top, or whatever you want to call it. So we'll definitely see some movement down, and initially kind of hit this $21.50, where that's where the support is. But once it reaches here, you've got a problem. This is where you've got a problem. Once it goes down to there, it will, correct itself. But then most likely we're going to see it roll over. And if it rolls over, it's going to fall all the way down to like the $17 mark, right? At least, initially anyway. Something to keep an eye on. But, what people don't understand is, there's an economic cycle. Every 7 to 9 years, there's some kind of economic crisis that causes the markets to correct, right? It happens all the time. It's happened since the dawn of time, right? But some people still can't accept the fact that we're in the middle of one. This one's different, however. This one's not your normal boom and bust cycle. Let's make that clear. Right? This is not your normal, it's just retracing and then we're going to see upside again in about a year. We've got the debt problem is absolutely crazy, so the last year, so you had banks and corporations that were impacted. Right? This time you've got governments that are impacted. Right? And who's going to bail out the governments? Right? That's the question. So people, some of the stuff I've been putting up, like, what am I going to say? People respond by saying, doom and gloom, negativity, and conspiracy theory, all that stuff. But this is the truth, guys. This is the fact, right? You guys look at that and see that as being negative, right? I see that as being positive. Well, there are some negatives, of course, but mostly I see positives, right? Now, if you see it as negative and you treat it as doom and gloom, then that's what's going to happen to you. That you're going to be destined to fail. You're destined for failure. This crisis will hit you, right? This crisis will destroy you, right? I see it as an opportunity because there is going to be so much money that can be made from this fall, and it's not funny. It's just, and that's why I've been sharing this, So I see it as positives. There are some negatives. There is some pain to go through to before you actually see the reward. But again, it's the whole pain and pleasure concept, right? The majority of us usually would do everything we can to avoid pain in order to gain pleasure, which makes sense. But no one's prepared to face a little bit of pain or go through a little bit of pain in order to gain pleasure, right? So we're all going to go through a little bit of pain. A lot of people are going to get hit. A lot of people are going to, people could be homeless, or people are going to lose their houses. And I'm just a realist, right? So if you have, I'll say it straight up. If you've got a mortgage, if you had a mortgage recently, you've pretty much got until now in October to pay it off, right? Or do something about it, because from what I see happening, and this is not conspiracy, they're telling you, the people running behind the scenes or whatever, the banks or whatever, they're telling you what they're going to do, right? It's just you're not listening, and you're in denial, right? So this is going to happen one way or the other, and it's really up to you if you want to come out the other end a winner or you want to come out a loser. Simple. But no one has any excuse to complain, basically. Everyone has an opportunity to do okay through this, right? So, and this will happen. It could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week, but it will happen one way or the other. It will happen. So, now that's all happening in the background. It's not talked about in media. Everyone's So this is interesting times ahead, definitely. What I can say is, just make the necessary preparations. A lot of people still aren't awake yet. They're still asleep. They still think they're living in a fantasy world, basically. So, when this hits them, it's just going to cause all sorts of social unrest. There's too much to get into, but I've been doing a lot of research on this, and I got hit by the GFC last time. I made a bit of money, but then I lost a bit of money from it too. So that's why I'm really, really into this stuff, because since then I've just been, wanting to understand why this all happened and learning about it, and as you uncover, once you learn one thing, it leads to all sorts of other things that you kind of stumble into. And over time, like 8 years or something, 9 years, you start to see the world for what it really is, right? What's really, really going on, which people still have no idea what's happening. There's a lot of things happening in the background, like I said. So, but this is the reality of it. Is we need to see a correction. This is not a correction. This is just a retracement that could turn into a bigger fall than everyone thinks, right? Because the bottom line is everyone's loaded with debt, right? A lot of debt. And the thing is this: even if every single person paid off all their debts, there wouldn't be one single dollar in circulation, right? And I won't get into the whole specifics around how money is created and all that kind of stuff, but you got to look these things up because they'll help you understand what's going on, and then from there you'll be able to be better informed, and that's going to lead to better decisions, right? And that's the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do. So if you're thinking this stuff, like all this stuff, I'm putting this doom and gloom and all this stuff, you can that's your choice. But know that with that sort of mind frame, that's the same. It's going to happen to you. You're going to get hit by whatever it is that is coming. You got to be more positive. There are positives. Everyone has an opportunity, right? It doesn't matter if you're rich, you're middle class, or even you're poor. It doesn't really matter. Like there's an opportunity to make something out of this, right? And you'd be surprised at the profit that could come out of this. Let me say that, right? With a very small amount of capital too. And I've already been helping a couple of people already. There's a few people that actually came to me and asked me for help. So that's, I wouldn't have gone to them, but they took the initiative. They took the step. They realized that, they've got a bit of money here that they want to, either invest or something like that, and they basically just asked for my help, just asked me to help them. And I said, I was more than happy to help them, right? And since then, look, what I'll do is moving forward, I'm actually going to, probably from next week actually, I'll set up a small little mini account or micro account, and I'll start putting some trades in that I'll show you throughout the week, and I'll show you how easy it is to kind of follow the plan and make some little bit of money, right? So I'll probably start that this week. But some of the guys there's one guy I've already made him, double his money, sorry. Very small investment though, not nothing major, but I've already doubled it already, and he's only been involved in about 4 months. So yeah, this is not a service I'm offering. I'm not offering it to anyone. I'm really selective. I mean, I'm really picky with who I say yes to. I don't just accept anyone's money, or accept anyone's, offer. I'm really picky, so I'm just telling you that, you're just gonna. The point is, you got to take some initiative. If you don't, then you're just gonna be stuck wherever you are, and that's it. So I'm not. That's all I can say, really. Not gonna affect me, really. So yeah. So that's about it there. Let's have a look at just one more, just the Aussie stock market, and we've been in downtrend, as you know. Nothing's really changed there. But if you look at the weekly, for example, right? This doesn't look good at all, right? So I expect us to see some sort of drop in the coming week or weeks. This is going to happen sooner or later, guys. So, but I've always been saying for quite some time that I had a level in mind, which is the 5,400 level. Now, judging from last week, the last 2 weeks price action, that might actually happen. We might actually see that get reached. So if we do touch the 5,400, now let me just go to the idea that I published a while ago. So I published it some time ago. Let's just have to post it back. Bear with me. I think it was this one. There we go. So this was some time back, and I said that we were gonna. This is where I did it at the time. The price was here. So if we click that little arrow there, it will tell us where price is now. So since then we've kind of gone very, very sideways. But I said that we had this level in mind that we were looking at. So we might actually maybe even get to see that. Maybe. Still early days. The possibility is still not good, but let's wait and see. But if we do hit that level, I will definitely be shorting the market. Something to watch for as well. So yeah. So yeah, that's it, guys. Best of luck, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.